All right. Hello, my friends, and welcome to today's episode. So, today I'm going to talk about how automatic and intrusive thoughts are actually evidence that you are not the mind. And I want to talk about kind of the implications of all of that. So, before we dive into the show, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and I'm the founder of Restored Minds. And if you're looking for help on your journey to recovery from this fear loop, whether it's again OCD, anxiety, panic attacks, chronic pain, check out the links in the notes or head over to restoredminds.com because we have some great resources for you to get started on, as well as different levels of support we can provide you. Also, if you benefit from the show, please help us out real quick by liking, subscribing, and if you're on YouTube, hit that little notification bell as well. So let's go ahead and dive in. So one of the things that I often get asked, and when I'm connecting with clients and people who are listening to the show and whatnot, is this whole idea of having these automatic intrusive thoughts, or these intrusive thoughts that kind of are invading your awareness. And the thought, or the desire for most people experiencing this, is that they want the thoughts to go away. They want to get rid of them. And so their objective is they want to try to use the tools that they're learning about to try to get rid of the thoughts. And they perceive the thoughts themselves as the problem. And while obviously they're very uncomfortable and very unpleasant and can be very disturbing sometimes, the fact that the thoughts are happening automatically is a self indication, right? Or an indication that you are not those thoughts, because you have the ability to consciously place your awareness and override that, right? You can always place your awareness on something. You have the ability to shift your awareness from what you're thinking about to what you're feeling in your body to the feelings in your toes, and to shift that, right, to control that consciousness of awareness. And so the fact that you're aware of the thought, and the fact that the thoughts are happening in and of themselves or automatically, and you aren't choosing the thought, and you aren't trying to create the thought, is evidence that you are not the thought. You are the awareness of the thought, right? And that's that subject object awareness that we talk a lot about in TBC, and that's promoted by obviously a variety of people that study consciousness and teach on topics like consciousness. So why does this all matter? Well, the reason that most people, in my belief, and from just talking to so many people, and when I was lost in that world as well of that fear loop, the reason so many people get so concerned about thought is that they're so identified with the mind that they think the automatic thoughts or the intrusive thoughts are a reflection of them. And so they internalize the experience and saying, I'm producing this bad thought, I'm having this bad thought. And so it's a reflection of who they are, which again is not the case. It's something you're observing. And so when you are able to create that separation, you can work at this very differently. And a lot of times what that usually involves is being able to connect to the underlying feelings within your consciousness: fear, anxiety, right, guilt, shame, variety of the lower emotions that we often don't want to feel. And when you can move your awareness to them and really become non-resistant to the emotion underneath the thoughts, that's when you can really start to, again, calm down not only the body, but then the mind as well. And this working, this path of working at this is very different than trying to go into the mind, identify with the mind, and trying to solve and figure out and get rid of the things you don't want within the mind. That path, I've never really seen it be effective. I've never seen these traditional cognitive behavioral therapy interventions, right, of like, when you have a bad thought, snap a rubber band on your hand, or just like try to replace this thought with a good one and fight your thoughts themselves. I haven't seen it work personally. I haven't seen it work. I haven't heard any clients report that to be an effective long-term technique. Now, is there an element of learning how to replace beliefs and doing that kind of work? Absolutely. But it's for a certain place and time on this recovery journey. It's not at the automatic intrusive thought level. And people that try to implement those techniques at that level really get frustrated and feel like they're failing, because oftentimes they're putting so much effort into trying to stop their thoughts, get rid of the thoughts, and they just feel like they're in this battle 24/7. And I know I've been there at one point in my life for sure. And this is why when you understand this, and you start to understand this subject object awareness to begin with, you understand that the very fact these thoughts are happening automatically, and the very fact that you're noticing them pop up and just fire away, and the mind might be going really, really fast. The fact that you can notice that the mind is going fast means that you noticed that the mind wasn't going fast at some point. It means you noticed the idea that these thoughts weren't there at some point. And so because of that juxtaposition means the constant was the observer of that, the awareness behind that. And so if that's the thing that consistently exists, that's what you are, right? Now, some people can call that soul, spirit, consciousness, awareness, whatever word feels right for your belief system and what you currently understand about yourself is okay. Because we have to first operate from that plane in order to even do the interventions to really release the energy of the fear loop, to break out of the loop altogether. Because if you try to work from the thought plane, you're going to get bombarded. And ultimately, I don't see people have fruit that try to work at this from that plane. And that's my personal experience. But then, anyone that I've worked with that has battled their thoughts for years and years and years tend to, it's just simply because they're operating from trying to stop thought at the thought level. And when it's automatic and it's intrusive and it's spinning really, really fast, that's just a very challenging way to go about it. And so I hope this idea was helpful, that just the idea that the intrusive thoughts themselves are self-evident, that you are not those, right? And if you can separate that for yourself, you can begin to work at this from a higher plane of consciousness and have a lot more success than identifying with the mind and trying to stop and control the mind on that level. So with that, I hope this was helpful. I wish you a great day, great week, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Hey there, thanks so much for watching that episode. If you found it helpful, we have some links to some other episodes that we think you might like as well. And if you're looking for help on your journey to recovery from fear, stress, and anxiety, either check out the links in the notes or head over to restoredminds.com. Thank you, and talk to you soon.